Welcome to our board meeting of May 22nd, 2014. And at this time, we're going to call our meeting to order, and we're going to ask our tech to play our land acknowledgement and our national anthem. For the national anthem, we will stand. Thank you.
Land upon which we work, live, and sustain ourselves is the ancestral and treaty lands of the Michizagig Anishinaabe, also known today as the Mississaugas of the Credit, the rightful caretakers and title holders of this land. We also recognize the rich pre-contact history and relationships, which include the Anishinaabe and the Ongwe Hongwe.
Since European contact, this land continues to be home to Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples. As responsible community members, we value the diversity, dignity, and worth of all people.
Colonialism displaced and dispossessed Indigenous peoples of their ancestral land
and continues to deny their basic human rights, dignities, and freedoms.
We are committed to learning true history to reconcile, make reparations, and fulfill our treaty obligations to the original peoples and our collective responsibilities to the lands, water, animals, and each other for future generations.
Oh, Canada.
Thank you. So, trustees, before we approve the agenda, tonight, I'm just going to ask on the chair's report that there's one item that I would like to add before we approve this, and that's the director appraisal. And I will be doing that verbally. So with that said, can I have somebody move approval of the agenda? Trustee Bailey, Trustee Cameron, all those in favor? Carries. Thank you. Any declaration of conflict of interest tonight? I'm not seeing any. So we're going to move to staff recognition. At this time, retirement, and I'm going to turn it over to the Vice Chair of the Board.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair Green, and through you. Each month, the Peel District School Board recognizes our staff members who are retiring or have recently retired. Today, we are happy to recognize our 90 staff members who are retiring from service. Among them are 56 classroom teachers, 3 educational assistants, 5 office assistants, 2 head custodians, 5 custodians, 2 secondary principals, 2 secondary vice principals, 6 elementary principals, 2 elementary vice principals, 2 office managers, 1 designated early childhood educator, 1 technical sports specialist. Names and the titles of the retirees are rolling on the screen here. We thank all the retirees for their service and dedication to the board, students, families, and the communities. It is through the collective work and efforts of our staff that makes a positive difference in the lives of our students, their families, and the communities. Your commitment to help each student achieve the best of their abilities is appreciated. We wish you very best and happy retirement. Congratulations and thank you very much.
Thank you, Vice Chair Chahal. I'm going to ask Trustee Pomoli and Trustee K. McDonald, put them on the floor for me, please. All those in favor? Carries. Thank you. And we move down to 7, which is the chair's announcement. Tonight, it is with great privilege that I present the Director Appraisal. The Education Act is clear, and the role of trustees, one of the only employee of the board is the Director of Education. The trustees also have the responsibility to ensure that every 2 years, especially in a new direction from the ministry, every 2 years there's an appraisal of the director that is carried out. To do that, we must do what you call a 360. The ministry has directed this board to ensure that we hire an outside consultant to carry out that work. So we have engaged with a consultant group over the last few weeks to able to carry out this work. The consultant has worked closely with an appraisal team that is made up of chairs from all the various different committees, and myself and the vice chair of the board that make up that committees. We able to work with the director and the director, the consultant through his work have conducted the 360. There was 9 areas of satisfaction that he would have gone through using SurveyMonkey for staff, various different board stakeholder, including student, to able to respond to the director appraisal. Those 5 areas, those 9 areas that they are focusing, the question would ask whether you strongly agree, disagree, you strongly disagree, are mutual. The appraisal, when we look at the appraisal that came back to the board, it is within the 9 areas that they survey, including feedbacks from various different stakeholders. The director would, between strongly agree in support of the director work or agree. So we find that there was, it runs in all 9 questions, it runs between 98% and 92% is the lowest. That hadn't strongly agree or just agree to able to come up to find out whether the director, we would provide the director with a satisfactory appraisal report. So after all of that has been done, yes, we have seen some areas that we know we're gonna have to work with. So now that the board has a multi-year strategic plan in place, we will be working with the director to ensure that we are addressing any concern that may arise in the report. However, I must say that we are excited to say that this board tonight has approved, after reading the report, consultant with the consultant just a couple minutes ago, we can say that the director has received a satisfactory report from all stakeholders, not just from the trustees, but all stakeholders who took part. So I would like to thank each and every one, the various federation, unions, students, staff, senior staff, supervisory staff, trustees who played an integrity role in ensuring that tonight we can say our director is doing a great job. So we want to say congratulations, Director Sue.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair Green. Thank you, everyone.
So the board itself, as you know, we have a strategic plan. As we move forward, we will be looking at various different goals that was set out in the strategic plan. We will be focusing and ensuring that we work with the director to ensure that there's an annual learning plan that ties to our strategic plan and student achievement and outcomes for students. And to ensure that the tools are provided, because we can give her direction, but if the tools are not there, she's not going to able to provide the support that needed to the student that need the support most. So we will work with the director to ensure that those tools and the support is needed. And as you can remember, we looked at student achievement, we look at safety and well-being, we look at equity and inclusion, community engagement, and we look at our value, which we need to continue to be positive, continue to have empathy. We looked at our environment as good steward and our leadership capacity. And the big part is ensuring we are promoting student success through inclusion and innovation and empowerment. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the report this afternoon. And I'm going to ask Trustee Johal, Trustee Cameron to put this report on the floor for me. All those in favor? Thank you. So the next step is that I will work with the consultant that we work with to draft the report to present to the ministry that the director has a satisfactory report. So thank you very much. We will then move on to 8, which is a report from student trustees, and we have none this afternoon. And we will move on, and then we're going to move to the next item for report from trustee appoint to external organization, and we have none. So we're going to move down to IC 10, which is approval of minutes from previous board and special board meetings. And the first one we have is item 10.1, which is the minutes from our April 17 board meeting. They are here, they're before you. I'm going to ask Trustee Davies and Trustee Benjamin to put them on the floor for me and ask if there's any questions, any concern. I'm seeing none. All those in favor? Carries. Thank you. We'll move to committee. First, the governance committee minutes of the last meeting, which was March the 6th. They're here. Trustee B. McDonald, Trustee Obbs online. Okay, putting them on the floor for me. And a question, concern? Seeing none. All those in favor? Out of that meeting, there's a motion for consideration. And it is, and I'll read the motion, is that arises from this, that the use of IT resource policy 82 be replaced, that the digital citizenship policy 78 be replaced with the updated digital citizenship and use of IT resource policy. So this is for approval. Trustee Alves and Trustee B. McDonald. Question, concern? See none. All those in favor? Carries. Thank you. In the minutes of our Special Ed Advisory Council meeting of March the 18th, they're here. Who's on that one? Trustee Benjamin and Trustee Promoli. You're not on it? Who's on it? Trustee Alves? Okay. All right, okay. All right, you're putting that on the floor for me? Okay, question, concerns? All those in favor? Carries. Thank you. And the minutes from the governance committee meeting of April 15th is here. And again, Trustee Bailey and Trustee B. McDonald. Okay, putting on the floor. Question, concern? Seeing none. All those in favor? Carries. Thank you. We are moving down. The minutes from the community of a whole, which was the education charge background and development study of April the 17th. I'm going to ask Trustee Johal and who I'm calling Trustee Cole to put them on the floor for me, please. Okay. Any question or concern? Okay. Okay. All right. All those in favor? Carries. Thank you. And we're going to move down to item 12.1, which is Minister Directive. Directive 14, Comprehensive 4-Year Equity Strategy Action Plan, Progress Report, present. I'm going to hand over to the director this time to introduce Dr. Logan.
Thank you, and through you, Chair, I'm now going to ask Associate Director Camille Logan to present Directive 14, the Progress Report.
Thank you, Director Swaroop, and through you, Chair Green. The following report is an update as we conclude year one of our Equity Action Plan that is guided by the 4-year equity strategy. As a school board, we remain firmly committed to addressing systemic barriers that are reflected in the development and revision of policies and procedures, the design of programs and system practices that must ensure learning and working environments that are culturally responsive and free from discrimination. The report reflects system efforts and the defined actions and deliverables of central departments as outlined in the report. The Equity Action Plan is also in alignment with the new multi-year strategic plan 2024-2028, and specifically the stated goal of the multi-year strategic plan of equity and inclusion. I will now turn it over to Lisa Hart, Superintendent of Equity, Indigenous Education, School Engagement, and Community Relations, to provide the update and an overview of the report.
Thank you, Associate Director Logan, and through you, Chair Green. I'm happy to present to the Board of Trustees that the Equity Action Plan Year 1 update attached as Appendix 1 and 2 be received as information. The 4-year comprehensive equity strategy establishes a roadmap for PDSB to close gaps in achievement and well-being experienced by students who have been historically and currently underserved. The action plan identifies the specific actions to be taken on an annual basis by each department, consistent with the overall strategy. The strategy and action plan meet the requirements of Ministry Directive 10 and 14 and the expectation for a strategy and action plan to address systemic racism and oppression through actions to reduce disproportionalities for historically marginalized students in alignment with the multi-year strategic plan 2024 to 2028. Our work has demonstrated that equity issues intersect and reinforce each other, requiring an intersectional approach in order to deeply understand and address the root causes. The equity strategy supports our commitment to achieving equitable outcomes for all Peel students. We understand the systemic nature of racism and oppression includes a societal component. The problem exists within and outside of PDSB. However, change starts with education. PDSB is demonstrating leadership in this area and will continue to focus on and center this work in order to see the desired positive impact for all students and families. Together, this work will ensure that equity work is not just done, but is embedded within all that we do at the PDSB in order to benefit all of our students and staff as we complete year 1 of the 4-year equity strategy and action plan as we embark on our newly developed multi-year strategic plan 2024 to 2028. This concludes the presentation of the report, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
So thank you to Associate Director Logan and Superintendent Art. I'm going to ask Trustee Bailey and Trustee K. McDonald to put this on the floor for me. Question for, okay, Trustee B. McDonald.
Yeah, thank you.
You have a question, Trustee Davey? Okay.
Yeah, thank you for this work, and it's a great plan, and you know, it's come out of the directives, which is what we're working through. I'm just curious on our status on our directives. Are we getting close to completing those? Not that we won't continue the work, but as you know, we're under kind of partial requirement by the government to complete these to their satisfaction. Otherwise, they can still come back.
Thank you for the question, Trustee Brad McDonald, and through you, Chair Green. You raise a very good question. The staff has worked very, very hard over the last few years and taken on the responsibility of ensuring that every requirement of the 27 ministry directives were taken very seriously, not only in terms of putting things on paper, but in enacting them in schools, with staff, with the different aspects, right from hiring, from adding staff for, guidance counselors and more. So I do want to say that from our perspective, we have submitted everything that was put in the March 2020 report of what is the requirement. what has happened is from time to time, the ministry looks at the reports, reviews them, and then they may ask clarifying questions, which we respond to. And so right now we are in that stage where they have asked questions, and some of the questions are in addition to what was in the March 2020 report. Therefore, we do go and look for that data and provide that. And along with our quarterly reports, we are submitting our directives additional information that they have sought, and it is working out well. And very soon we hope that they will be fully satisfied with everything that they've asked for. Thank you.
Yeah, through you, Chair, I appreciate that update, and it's good to hear we're closing on the commitments that we've made in the March 2020, and that's 4 years ago. Well, time goes by quickly, but I also want to make sure that everyone knows that doesn't mean we stop the work.
No.
And thank you so much about that.
Any other question? So that bring up, and I want to thank the director for that, and just trustee is not aware, so I think it's prudent in me to make a comment around the directives. Is that a number of directives that was submitted during supervision, and the ministry did not, and some of them did not even acknowledge that they received them. And then what we find that when the board came back, the trustees came back to the table, and myself working with the director, whether it's through the director's office or through the chair, there was a request for a number of directives that was already submitted. And because of that, I had to ask the director to work with staff to able, and it's a lucky thing those are still archived, that they were able to share, go back and share those with the ministry, because it seems to me as though there was one section of the ministry that was dealing with the directive, and I don't know if maybe moved on or something, but it seemed like they got lost someplace along the line. So a number, I can say, double work has been put in to ensure that we're meeting ministry directive and not only submitting, but I am really truly glad now that we have someone at the ministry that is communicating with us and is acknowledging when these directives are received, and if there's any clarification or extra question, because what we find is that there was one time that the director and I met with them, and we had to say, no, these are new directives that you're giving us. If director would agree with me, we had to say, yeah, these are new directives. These were not part of the original directives. However, we did not rebel. The director was kind enough to able to go and work with staff, provide those added information to the ministry. So to date, I am thinking that we're in a very good place. And as you clearly said, Trustee Big McDonald, this doesn't mean that because we're submitting that the work has stopped. The work will continue, because we need to ensure that we are providing the support that we need, especially to our Black and Indigenous students, to ensure that they got the tools that they need to succeed in life. Director?
Yes, thank you for that. And through you, Chair Green, I do want to add that we always call it the ministry directives and beyond. And what beyond means for us is that it's not that the work is over, we continue the work, but also when you'll hear from time to time certain reports coming in, there are a few updates that were asked of us, that every 6 months for 6 monthly periods submit an update. Or if you heard about the 4-year equity strategy, you heard the year 1 report today, then for the next 3 years you will get annually progress update, because today what we are sharing with you is the baseline data. And so that will help everyone see how we are moving forward, where we are doing well, where do we need to do better. But this work will go on, and so you will hear from us all the time. Here's a directive update, or the equity accountability report card. Though the ministry only asked for one, we have taken it on that each year from the research department, you will get a detailed equity accountability report card each year. So we have embraced a lot of things that we know will help our board move forward and have all our kids, especially our historically marginalized students, be more successful.
And finally, in the quarterly report that they asked for, they're asking because as part of when we came back, and that's one of the agreement that I had with ministry, that we would make sure that that quarterly report is provided. Those have been provided in a timely manner. The last conversation is that if we continue to do good and they're in favorable, then they will be end January 2025. They will not ask us for any more after that. So I'm just saying, let's keep doing what we're doing. I think we're in a good place right now. So hopefully after January, so basically, and that what tells me that there is still eyes on us and what we do. So hopefully we can get that green light on January 25th, 2025. That's my hope. So thank you. All those in favor of receiving that report, thank you. Carries. All right, I'm going to move down to 12.2, which is the Education Development Charges Bylaw Renewal for 2024, which will be presented by our Associate Director. And Director, I'll pass it over to you to introduce our Associate Director, Gil.
Thank you, and through you, Chair, I will now ask Associate Director and the Chief Operating Officer, Jaspal Gill, to present the Education Development Charge Bylaw Renewal.
Thank you, Director Sapoop, and through you, Chair Green. This report is a continuation of the process for the board to pass an Education Development Charge Bylaw, which will apply to the development of land in the region of Peel. The new bylaw is required because the current bylaw of the board, which was passed in 2019, is scheduled to expire at the end of June this year. The board is proposing to enact a successor Education Development Charge Bylaw for the region of Peel. At public meetings held on April 17th, 2024, the board reviewed its education development charge policies and reviewed the background study relating to the proposed successor bylaw. At tonight's meeting, the board will receive further information about the proposed bylaw. In order to pass a new EDC bylaw, the board must receive approval from the Minister of Education to the board's pupil-placed projections and estimates of the number of school sites used in the calculation of the charges. The board received such approval on May 14, 2024. You have in the board package the report to the board on this matter. The board's EDC consultant, Jack Amendolia of Watson and Associates, and our lawyer Jim Easto of Keel Cottrell are available to answer any questions you might have. I will now invite Jim Easto to review the proposed bylaw. Jim?
Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me. The bylaw is very much the same as the bylaw that was before you on April the 17th. There are three changes, one of a very minor nature. One is to insert the date of the ministerial approval, which we did not know, one in a recital. One is to correct a reference to a section, just to make it's in subsection 3, subsection 3 of section 3, to refer to subsection 4. In the previous version, it would mistakenly refer to subsection E or D. So we've corrected that, and what has also been done is adding the actual rates into the bylaw. At the time the bylaw was presented to you for the April 17th meeting, or excuse me, the bylaw was prepared just before the rates were calculated. So those rates were made available to the public and to stakeholders when the Education Development Charges background study was published in early April. And so those rates are exactly the same as what's been on the table, if you will, since then. So none of these changes are substantial or material, and in my view, none of them warrant another public meeting. And so that is why that's the basis for the first recommendation made to the board tonight. Thank you.
Okay, so trustees, you have this information before you, and I'm just going to go ahead. Before I even do that, Trustee Davy and Trustee Cole is putting this on the floor for me. All right, so do you have any question for Mr. Eastill, our Associate Director Gill? And we all went through this on the April the 17th. And then, as you can hear, we got the green light from ministry on the 14th of May. All right, I'm seeing no questions. So what I'm going to do at this time, I'm going to turn to the public, whether anyone present here or online would like to be heard tonight, re our education development charges this evening. I'm not seeing anybody online putting their hands up. So at this time, I'm going to ask the board then, all those in favor of the new development bylaw charges. Okay, carries. Thank you. Thank you very much. Great. Awesome. Mr. Easter, thank you. As always,
thank
great
you.
Work.
Thank you, Chair Green. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Okay. So we're going to move down to 14, which is the last time at our last board meeting, notice was served that we need to renew and appoint two trustees as board of director to the Ontario School Board Association and two alternate. And tonight we are going to be asking for any trustees who would like to represent the board and this association, and I'm going to look around for anybody who wants to nominate someone. Okay, so Trustee Davy is going to nominate.
Can I just speak to this quickly?
Yes.
Okay, so been on this for a year. Things you should know is there's a lot of weekends involved. There's a lot of during the day normal work day meetings that are involved. Just wanted to sort of give everyone a heads up on that because I didn't really have that heads up before I signed up for this. And I know that those on the Budget Development Committee are going to see a big chunk that is for this. Is it okay to, like, I'll make a motion if I have to, but could staff put together a little report on the value that our students get for this amount, and just so that everyone knows what it is and what we're doing?
So what we can do, Trustee Davy, there is a fee structure that is coming, and then an invoice. Once that fee structure presently, I can tell you that the association is looking, there's going to be a minor raise in fee for this year for all boards right across the province. Yep. So once that is come to the board, then we can do that. So we will.
No, but there's also other costs that this board incurs when it comes to, and I just wanted sort of everyone to understand, this is the big chunk.
Right.
And this is what we get for that.
Okay.
Just so that because the one thing I really learned this year is a lot of other boards are under huge cash crunches.
Right, yeah.
And so I just want us to be prepared because that big chunk is a large percentage of our discretionary funds. I mean, a lot of our funds are for facilities and for salaries.
Right.
And there's only so much that we're allowed to do. And lately we've been hearing about cutbacks and cutbacks. And so I just want everyone to have a good idea of what we get, what we're spending, so that if, we get into some of the horrendous cash crunches that the other boards are having in this province, I just want us to be prepared with information. That's all.
So what we will do, Associate Director Gill, when we do receive the invoice to be presented, because this board has to approve that invoice, could you outline in that for us the benefits of being part of this association and what comes back to this board in terms of all that piece, and see how providing that, and also, could you put in there that we also get this back from ministry also? So trustee have a clear idea on then. So thank you for that,
Thank you.
Trustee Davy. Okay, all right, good.
Thank you.
So Trustee Pomoli is nominating somebody.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I would like to nominate Trustee Bailey.
Okay, all right. Trustee B. McDonald.
I'd like to nominate you, Chair.
Okay. Any other nomination? Okay.
I'd like to nominate Kathy McDonald.
All right.
Trustee
Okay.
Kathy McDonald.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's we have three person. First of all, I'm going to turn to Trustee Bailey. Trustee Bailey, you were nominated. Do you accept the nomination?
I do.
And would you like 2 minutes to speak?
Over the last year, I've had the privilege of being an alternate on the OPSPA Board of Directors. And during that time, I was fortunate enough to be not only the alternate, but also work on the policy committee. And through that experience, I've learned of the incredible amount of work that goes into this association. Yes, he's not kidding when he says it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of meaningful work because it's not just about the students in the region of Peel. They deal with students across Ontario. And it's through that experience I've learned how to be a better representative for not just the students, but also the families and the staff, and how to advocate for them on a higher level than just our board. So I would be really appreciative of the opportunity to once again represent the Peel District School Board at OPSPA.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Trustee K. McDonald, do you accept the nomination? Okay. Would you like 2 minutes to speak?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Will, for nominating me. Now I thought we were going to have 4 people to be an alternate. So I would ask if you'd nominate me for an alternate.
Oh, so you'd rather be alternate?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I thought it was going to be 4 people and then.
Oh, okay.
No, we do the 2 director first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So I would step down and then. Yes,
Okay,
please.
all right.
Thank you.
So with that said, then that leave myself and Trustee Bailey as director. All those in favor? Yep. Well, listen, you know, I think I've been representing this board there for quite a bit, and being the second largest board and being the one of the only minority at the executive level that bring things from a different lens, I think it's important that I stay there to ensure that this board voice is heard, because oftentimes decisions are made and you know, at that, because a lot of decision is made at that level. And if you're not having someone there that represents your board to bring the issues and the challenge that we face, and even the part when that we have those advocacy day where we go to Queen's Park to advocate for our board, and just to even just meet with some of our local MPP and hear what they think of us as a board and how they see us, it is just atrocious. So therefore, you know, I know my mouth is big. Nobody don't have to tell me that, but I defend this board and the work that this board do a T. And I think you need somebody that is bold as I am to continue carrying on that work. So thank you. Yeah. So we'll call this time. So Trustee Bailey, myself, congratulations. We got work to do. All right. So at this time, we will call for 2 alternate at this time. So Trustee Bailey is nominating somebody.
I'd like to nominate Trustee Promoli for alternate.
Trustee Promoli. Okay. All right. Okay. And Trustee Davies nominate Trustee K. McDonald.
Yes, please.
Okay. And any other? I'm seeing now other nominations. So that means, hey, congratulations to you both. All right. Good. Awesome. So that means whenever time myself or Trustee Bailey is not available, you're the pinch hitter. Okay. All those in favor? Carries. Thank you. I will send the report to Lisa Reinhardt. I will be in the plane in the morning, but when I land, I'll make sure that's the first thing that I do. All right, thanks. All right, number 15 is trustee notice of motions. I got none. And I'm gonna ask trustee Johal and trustee Promoli to put the adoption of the closed session report. Move that for me. All those in favor? Carries. Okay, awesome. We're gonna move to 17 and I'm gonna get the director to smile. Okay, student success. Okay. Go ahead, Tech.
This year, Peel District School Board celebrated Education Week, May 6th to 10th, under the theme Together We Thrive. It was the perfect opportunity to spotlight the great work being done in schools, PDSB work sites, and in the community, as well as the incredible achievements that were recognized through the awards of distinction and excellence. Thank you to Peel students, staff, volunteers, and community members for always looking out for one another, putting education first, and for creating an environment where together we can thrive.
Hi guys, I'm Sukraj Singh Dave, a grade 11 student at Judith Nyman Secondary School, and I'm currently enrolled in the RST or Regional Skilled Trades program here. And the main reason I came to this school was to explore a bunch of hands-on trades and more hands-on activities. As in grade 8, when I originally was going to go to high school, my plan was to go to university. Well, this wasn't my plan, this was my family's plan, because they wanted they thought that trades were they were iffy about the trades because of the big stigma, like it's hard labor, people won't want to do certain things. And over the years, I've had a bunch of opportunities to try all the several different trades programs here at Judith Nyman Secondary School. I've tried the automotive program, the HVAC, plumbing, electrical, and basically what this has helped me do is it's helped me narrow down and decide what I want to do, because coming to the trades, out of all the 144 trades, it's really hard to decide what you want to do. And this gave me the opportunity to really figure out what I want to do. So coming to this school, I'm working on the Canadian Habitat for Homes Tiny Home project as my 2-credit co-op. And this also helped me pursue my plumbing career because I want to, of course, have my own business when I grow up in the future. And I'm also doing a dual credit program I shared in college right now for plumbing. And thank you to all the really skilled trades teachers here, which are all red sealed for their trade, for giving me a lot of knowledge and experience this semester. And I'm grateful to be a part of the Peel District School Board and a student here at Judith Nyman Secondary School. And what we need to talk about is the strong focus on students getting into trades, because a lot of students, they don't know what they want to do. And coming here to a school like this with all the different opportunities, it really helps them figure out, because lots of students, they don't really do what they want to do, they end up doing what their parents want them to do, and that's not good for them. So with a key partnership with Skill Councils of Canada and the Peel District School Board and Judith Nyman Secondary School, we're committed to help students do what they want to do and also get into the trades and set up a really good future for the life ahead of them.
And when you see what these students have for you tonight, it is going to lift your spirit, and this is what we want to do in the Peel District School Board.
An incredible evening celebrating Black excellence and student success, the BSA Showcase was held April 30th at Jinkuzi Secondary School. With more than 18 schools involved, 17 acts were presented under the event theme, Black to the Future. It was a beautiful celebration of culture across the entire African, Black, and Afro-Caribbean diaspora, and we are looking forward to continuing the celebration for years to come. Thank you to all the teachers, students, and volunteers who helped make this an unforgettable event. Peel District School Board students continue to achieve remarkable success in robotics competitions, garnering recognition not only locally, but also nationally and internationally. Showcasing their adeptness in design, programming, and teamwork, this year's trophy case is flooded with numerous championship titles and accolades. Extended French grade 8 students from Nibia Masadang Public School placed 3rd overall in the recent World Robotic Olympiad Regional Engineering Design Competition. Team Ask is now moving on to the Canadian National Competition in Montreal on May 26th, where they will be competing to possibly represent Team Canada in either Turkey or Italy. The Woodlands Absolute Robotics team is made up of over 80 students, teachers, parents, and mentors who are passionate about engineering, technology, business, and entrepreneurship. This year, they won the Excellence in Engineering Award in their first district competition and were finalists in the STEMLY Championships. And congratulations to Team Stampsations from Fallingbrook Middle School. They finished in 14th place out of 49 teams from across the world in the first LEGO League Open European Championship, held May 13th to 16th in Norway. The annual Peel Music Showcase was a sold-out event with more than 1,000 people in attendance. Held May 2nd at the Living Arts Center, the event highlighted the diversity of the Peel community through 11 student performances in grades 3 to 12 that included First Nations traditional drumming, an R&B band, sounds from tablas, steel pans, and more. Congratulations to all involved, the students, their families, teachers, and volunteers who worked so hard throughout the school year to make this a truly special evening for everyone. Vita Gardner, principal of Fletcher's Creek Senior Public School, was recognized by the City of Brampton as one of 100 Black community builders and champions. The award was given to community members who have contributed in different ways to make Brampton the vibrant and productive city it is today. Ms. Gardner has played a critical role in building partnerships with community organizations and higher education institutions to support students and their families in building opportunities for success and resilience. Congratulations on this much-deserved honor.
So, Trustee, this is what I was talking about when we were in closed session, how, the great and amazing stuff that we are doing, that other boards are now looking to us and asking, how are you doing this? And this morning, I was passing by Central Appeal to see the big Greyhound there is about to load up our student that is going to LA to compete in the math and the robotics competition. We also had 2 middle school down Thomas, middle school, and Tompkin and Tecumseh, who also need to be highlighted for their success. So we're doing great stuff. And I can't close tonight without saying this. At the Judith Nyman presentation, here again, I want to highlight this, that this is a program that was going to be closed. And now is the gem of our board, that the Minister of Trades was there. The MPP for the area was there. The Minister of Education was there to make their announcement and said, this is the future. But you know what, one disappointment that I had was that it took a student to recognize that it was the Peel board. Everybody spoke, never said it was a Peel school. But our student made us proud and say thank you to the Peel District School Board and put us out there to shine. So I had to say that, because oftentimes I see all these things happen and nobody's saying that this is a Peel school. People have to be second guessing which school board. These are stuff that we need to highlight, and we need to be proud of these things. So with that said, thank you, Director, for that. Trustee Davey and Trustee Cameron is putting this on the floor for me. All those in favor? Carries. Adjournment. Trustee Cameron, Trustee Johal. All those in favor? Carries. Have a good night. See you guys next week.